one of the best podcasts ever. Ever. Top 5 dead or alive.
Welcome to Pod Caviar. I'm your host, Tony, and the Ministry of Silly Talks Graham is in the building, and we have a great episode coming up for you right now. Yeah. We just did a great episode of the 1 Gram Army. If you haven't subscribed to the 1 Gram Army or Pod Caviar, fuck you. At this point, we're done asking. We're done being nice. We're done warning. At this point, you're just a hater. You are bullshitting.
Y'all quit playing.
Yeah.
Quit playing.
You just want to hear us and then not support us, and that's bullshit.
You're just taking this fucking content for free.
Yeah, and it's terrible. But
I would even say though that today we've actually recorded 3 podcasts because we did most of your podcasts that we didn't record.
Right, and then we still are here.
Yep.
We're still here. And then you still don't want to subscribe. You don't want to share. You don't want to like a post. You don't want to do anything. We are coming for you. These are the people that we are going to see. We're not going to see our fans, the people that already subscribe. We love those people.
Of course.
Yeah. No, we're going to do live shows for those people. But for you people who are blatant haters and just don't want to support us, we're coming to see you.
And we know you're listening.
Yeah. And we can find you. Yeah, we have your address and we're coming for you.
We know that we know.
Yeah. It's real easy to find you.
Excuse me. That's how cookies work.
Yeah. We're going to get you. But anyway.
Run this out. I got to go out here real quick.
All right. Yeah. Nah. Short Caviar.
It's not a nightmare.
Okay. Yeah. Short Caviar is booming. The prices they start at $10.50. I just lowered them again. I just added a lot of designs. I'm moving out of the personal designs, but the shirts are there. The website is there. The designs are there. And if you don't want a t-shirt, I also have a men's boutique. I have a women's boutique. There is accessories, phone cases, all that. It's all on the website, shirtcaviar.com or shirt_caviar on Instagram, shirt_caviar on Facebook. Check it out. You can also check out Game Caviar. I recently posted a video of my son. My son did a gaming video where he's talking about the people who lick ice cream and then put it back, all that clout chasing bullshit that you see on Twitter and on social media. He did a very good job on that. And I remember when I was doing Game Caviar, when I first started Game Caviar, he was just a little kid. He saw what I was doing and he wanted to do the same thing, and I gave him tips and really launched him into where he is right now. So the whole thing about having sons or kids is that they can take over what you have accomplished in my life. And then now I have a son that does gaming videos, and it's awesome. And that I posted on Game Caviar. He can take over Game Caviar and they both can take over Short Caviar, and it is amazing. But so check that out. All the caviars are booming. Everything is great. Yeah, do it. Everything is great right now. 1 Gram Army is amazing. The 1 Gram Army is amazing. Pod Caviar is amazing. Short Caviar is amazing. Game Caviar, everything. So subscribe, please. For those of you who haven't subscribed already, you're fucked. Because we're coming to you right now. The van is right now.
Come on.
Yeah, the van is running in the driveway right now.
We keep it running.
After we record our episodes, we go see people.
Yeah.
And
it's
that's
part
it.
of the process.
Yeah.
It's like every Sunday, like we have Sundays free, so it's like, okay, we do a couple podcasts,
Yeah.
and then we sit down and we pray to Lucifer,
Yeah.
and then we get in our van. And I mean, I
mean,
feel like it's
like,
way easier to subscribe
Dude,
than to see what's in the van.
It is, right. Like, do you want that? Do you want that?
Why should I describe what's in the van?
Right.
When listeners know it's horror.
It's horror.
It's the worst.
It's horror.
You don't want to get picked up by the van.
No.
And all you have to do is subscribe.
Just
and
subscribe.
Then you can avoid it.
Like, I don't understand. What do y'all want? Do y'all want witness testimony? We have the telethon coming up later on this year. That's going to have all the witness testimony that you will hear and everything.
From survivors.
You have to understand that we are not playing, man. We're
And how
not
many
nice.
people-
We're not just saying smash that like button. No, we're telling you to like this podcast and subscribe because it is in your best interest.
Right. Like we're
Right.
we're holding shit at bay that would
Yeah.
really make us happy.
Right.
Like it would make us happier to come to your house in the middle of the night than it would to do a podcast.
Right.
Like we're just trying to combine our interests.
Yeah, we just want you to, click subscribe.
Prepare for horror. Prepare for horror. Prepare for horror.
That's it. I mean,
There you
that's
go.
it.
So what do you got this
All right.
week,
This
General?
week we have the Pollock twins. We're going to talk about some twins from England that were birthed with in a couple that had previously lost a set of twins in a horrific car accident. And then this ties into reincarnation. We're going to talk about reincarnation and then the universe as a whole. This is the overarching theme of season 4. Will Smith knows. And
Smith
then
don't
we're
know
going to
shit.
go. We're going to go from there. But right now, we're going to talk about the Pollock twins. So let me go ahead and pull this up.
Here come the men in black. Selling them burgers.
Dude, Will Smith knows,
McDonald's,
bruh.
McDonald's. This is the extent of Will Smith's
Yeah.
knowledge.
And then, and as a side
Smith
note,
didn't know shit.
we did have a great discussion on the 1 Gram Army, the last episode. And we talked
last
about this
week
shit.
on
Yeah,
Pod
and then last
Caviar.
week in Pod Caviar, yeah.
If you're paying attention,
Dude.
fuck it. I don't want to explain it. to
No,
people.
we don't have to explain
You have to
anything. Yeah.
rewind.
Yeah. You just
Go
going to have
back
to
a
go
couple
back.
episodes
Yeah. Fuck
on
it.
a couple podcasts. God forbid you get some extra dope content.
Right, yeah. Anyway, the Pollock twins were English girls who were often referred as proof of reincarnation. Their parents, John and Florence Pollock, lived in Hexham, England. They had
That's
2
interesting.
daughters, Jonah, 11,
Hexham?
and yeah, I know. I never heard of this
Sounds like
place.
they live under a hex. Be careful there.
Exactly. Jonah 11 and Jacqueline 6. On
And
May
bum
5th,
sex.
1957, the 2 children were killed in a car accident. Florence got pregnant the following year and gave birth to twin girls on October 4th, 1958. Jillian and Jennifer were identical twins. They had different birthmarks. Jennifer had a birthmark on her waist and that matched a birthmark that Jacqueline had. She also had a birthmark on her forehead that resembled a scar that Jacqueline had. The family moved to Whitney Bay, where the twins were 3 months old. 2 years later, the girls started asking for toys that had belonged to their elder sisters, despite never having seen the toys before. Yeah, you see where this is going.
Yeah, I'm sure that's all very objective.
Right, yeah.
information.
After the family returned to Hexham, the twins, despite never having been there, pointed out landmarks their older sisters had known. They also began to panic upon seeing moving cars, shrieking, "The car is coming to get us!" After they turned 5, their memories of their previous lives faded. And
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yeah, and then they went on to lead normal lives. So there you have it. What do you think? What do you think? Just preliminary.
Yeah,
Just
like
after
just
hearing that.
like on like surface level.
Yeah, surface
Like,
level.
No additional information.
Yeah.
and being
Yeah.
like not a super smart person.
Right.
Probably not.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, probably not. Like,
Probably not, right?
probably like a lot of the details of
Yeah.
that where it's
Yeah.
like,
But,
look,
okay.
I will say that it is extraordinary that they lost twins.
Yeah.
And they had twins again.
That's tragic, yeah.
But we also understand as humans that people who are predisposed to having twins
Right.
will keep fucking having
them, yeah.
And you got to get rid of those
Because
people
we've
too,
seen them, yeah,
who are
because they've had
"Oh,
twins and
every
then
time someone
triplets
gets
and then something.
impregnated,
Yeah.
this person produces more than one child in one
Right,
trip.
right.
Got to get rid of those people because
Right.
the planet can simply not sustain the number of people that are on it. Mm-hmm. Different conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
But also in the case of these little girls, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it just on the surface it sounds like a story about some people who unfortunately lost some children, had twins,
Mm-hmm.
and then ascribed some very arbitrary and not inconclusive anecdotal evidence against them.
Yeah.
And I'm also willing to dismiss most of what they said.
Yeah. Upon initially hearing about this, I was okay. Before I say that, what do you think about reincarnation? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's plausible? What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's highly unlikely. See, here's the problem. It's like when you talk about pseudoscience and you have people who are like, I'm a this kind of pseudoscientist and I'm a this kind of healer and I'm gonna write a book about how like I have an understanding of how energy in the universe works, but I'm going to pervert it to my own means to mean that somehow you can apply that to your insignificant existence.
Okay.
And that like the powers that control the infinite universe are somehow related to your existence and they're important. It's highly likely that none of that is accurate. And that is my problem with reincarnation.
Yeah.
Is I'm perfectly willing to accept existence as like a stream of energy. Like if you just look at it like as a river of energy.
Okay.
And like the bits that make up you are clearly defined and have a form.
Yeah.
And they backflip up out of this river of energy, and that's your whole life.
Yeah.
Is your little like flip out in the air.
Okay.
You're like a
Like
dolphin.
a salmon swimming up the river,
Yeah,
almost jumping out of the water.
preferably
Yeah.
salmons
Yeah.
than dolphins, because nobody wants to be
Yeah,
compared
fuck
to a
dolphins.
dolphin.
Yeah, fuck dolphins.
But so like you come up out of the air like a salmon, and then that's your whole life. You know. Because you have to imagine it as if that salmon, like that salmon's only understanding of the world around it was because it could jump out of the water and see if a bear was there.
Right. Yeah.
So that's your whole life.
Yeah.
Because we can already establish that you're definitely made of all the materials that already exist.
We are.
Like you didn't
Yeah.
come from outer space.
That's true.
Like you were made from energy and cells and biology that already existed before you existed.
Right.
They were just like waiting to have the sparkle it.
Yeah.
You know, and then the cell division started happening, and then you become this. But all of this shit is all made out of the same stuff.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. No, I'm with
Like,
you.
so
Normally
it's
we
difficult-
have varying degrees on views on things like this, but with in this episode, I agree with you. I don't think that they have been reincarnated. There have been other instances of reincarnation, quote unquote. But I'm like, I don't agree with this because, like I said on your episode, time is a linear thing, and even when you said that time is a
Because
stream,
I believe time is a circle.
yeah, I mean, even that. But even if you say it was a circle, but reincarnation would be plausible, but not with the same parents of the
Right,
same things.
exactly.
And that
Well,
goes back to what you said.
but see, if you-
People who have twins are predisposed to having more twins. Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
genetics,
Yeah.
right?
And see,
so
that
then
goes to the grieving parents, and then they have more twins. They got lucky enough to have more
they
twins.
read
That's
more
predisposed.
into
and
it.
then so subconsciously, maybe to me, I think that they had implanted those memories into their kids, and then from 0 to 5, they thought that they were reincarnated.
My problem
Not
with
a knock against the parents.
but my problem with reincarnation it's because all logic, like reasonable, air quotes, reasonable explanations of reincarnation involve this like energy transmission, this deal, like because I'm willing to accept that like we're all energy, we're all matter, we're all part of the same thing.
Okay.
It can't be created, it can't be destroyed. We're all part of the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right. But like, I'm hesitant to be like, oh yeah, people who were born a long time ago get born again, because we have no level of understanding of what a consciousness is, like what human consciousness is,
right?
And then the idea that we're all made out of the same exact material that exists here and also exists 14 billion light years away.
Yeah, that's
the idea.
That's a different thing.
Like the idea that we're so special that we come back as a crab.
Yeah,
you might fucking come back,
dude. I mean,
you might fucking come back as a blurb of dust. 50 billion light years from here.
See, and I agree with that, because I don't think that we come back. I think
we're
just here. We're just here. We are special in that we are the planet Earth, and we are humans that survived. Like I said before,
and we're
there were
definitely
different
all that
Earths.
other
There were
stuff,
different
too.
Earths away from a sun that was in a habitable zone, and they didn't work out. So that, and then when they died out, we are the lucky ones. We are the people that lived, and we go on. And then that's where the UFOs come in. Like I said, I may be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. The future humanoids come back and they check on us, just like you check on a turkey.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is real shit.
Yeah.
When you put a turkey in the oven for Thanksgiving, you check on it.
Right.
The aliens are doing the same thing, but they're future humanoids. They're not. They're aliens to us because we don't recognize that shit.
That turkey was a fucking living thing, and like its like final remnants exist in like in this form that we're like, oh well, this dead turkey, let's put it in the oven.
For me, the turkey doesn't die until I throw it away.
And let's all gather together and sit around and just eat this turkey for days, right?
Yeah.
And just, but what are we doing?
What
are we doing? We're consuming that turkey's energy, like all that protein.
But you put it in the refrigerator to prolong it, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Though.
But that's us. We're prolonging.
The end result.
We're being prolonged.
Is like, get that turkey in your body so that
we're being prolonged.
Your body can benefit from.
We're being prolonged, and then we're gonna evolve into the next level. We have a sun in the middle of our universe that is
solar system.
the solar system.
Not the universe.
Yeah, not the universe. The solar system
is wild.
that is not on the last stages of its life. It is there. It is yellow. And billions of years from now, it will become a white dwarf or whatever, and it will do a supernova, probably maybe become a black hole, and then go from there. But for now, we are here. We are in the habitable zone of our planet. Mars is also in the habitable zone. But what happened to Mars? No, there's no life on Mars. Maybe before we became sentient life and figured out where we're at, maybe there was life on Mars. And this all goes back to what I was saying. Hollywood tells us exactly what has happened, will happen. What they tell us what has happened, is happening, and will happen. Total Recall. Total Recall. What happened to Total Recall? What happened at Total Recall?
Sorry, I was playing with the synthesizer.
Total Recall.
I think the government doesn't want anyone to know what you're talking about.
No, it's
not because it doesn't make sense.
No,
it's just they don't want to. People.
I think a lot of things are kept from humans because it'll blow our minds. And that's why I said,
prepare for horror.
Yeah.
Prepare for horror. Prepare for horror.
I said that earlier today that religion is a form of control. Time is a form of slavery, and nuclear weapons keep us hostage, and that's true.
The nuclear weapons hostage thing has been what I've been screaming since the day I learned about nuclear weapons.
True. It is 100% true, bro.
I was always like, wait a second. So there was a time in this world where we couldn't murder each other like by pushing a button and being like, no, see over here, all these missiles underground.
Yeah.
Remember bombs from World War One?
Yeah.
Well, it's 50 years later. Imagine those are missiles.
Right.
Underground.
Right.
Or 10,000 feet below the surface of the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
and they can just launch missiles that have multiple nuclear warheads that go all the way around the world.
Right.
And fucking destroy all
Destroy
of
the
existence.
shit out of countries, millions of people.
Yeah.
And then that's it. We had nuclear power. We have nuclear power. We have nuclear weapons. The United States of America used those nuclear weapons twice, and that was an example of don't use nuclear weapons. We
And
have
then-
to stay alive. Everybody wants to live. That's why climate change is a big thing. People want to be like, don't put plastic in the ocean. We need to lower the temperature of the planet or whatever.
Remember how in the late 90s there was all that stuff about how there was a hole in the ozone layer and they were tracking it, right? Where they were like, oh, fuck.
So now supposedly the hole is repairing itself, but it's been repairing itself since when we were kids. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, but that's what I'm saying too, though, is that like they were always like, oh, it's because of like burning trash and blah, blah, blah,
and
blah.
CPCs and all that shit.
Except for that also between the Russians and Americans, we blew up like 1,000 nuclear weapons in our atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Like basically when they were like, oh, we can't do ground-based testing anymore, both countries essentially irradiated the entire planet.
Right. No, that's true.
Like it's entirely possible that the reason that so many people get cancer is because the Russians and Americans have everything is radioactive now.
Yeah.
Like all of it.
No,
You know
and
that-
that's true.
You
And that's
know
true.
that's a way that they discover fake art, right?
Is it?
Yeah. So like if you present a piece of art, like a forgery of art of like a Monet or something, and you try to sell it at an auction, there are several auctions that use a test that like records the amount of radioactive isotopes in the paint.
What?
Because there's a clear delineation of time when
From
there
back
was,
then when it was created, and
from
then
when
now,
there was,
yeah.
and when there wasn't.
What? I know that there has been, there was a guy, they made a documentary of him. There are a lot of places, museums that don't test that shit. So he was able to make a lot of real
That was
looking
the guy.
fakes. Yeah. And then he was able to actually sell those things. He never went to jail because he didn't sell them. He just presented them. And the museums were like, yeah, we'll take them and then we'll give you money for these. They were fakes, but he never went to jail for that because
Can
he
you
was
hold
just
it
a
down for
guy.
a second?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I need
no.
to make it smell less shitty.
No,
It
that's
smells
fine,
terrible.
yeah.
It sounds like a goddamn bar in here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, he was a guy that did a lot of he did counterfeit art, but he made it so that he made it look really good and indistinguishable from what was the original art form. So a lot of these museums and these places like that, they took it and then they presented it. They got hoodwinked because this guy was so good. And he wasn't a bad guy at all. He was just some guy that had, what is it? We talked about incels and all that shit. I'm not going to say he's an incel, but he's just a guy that he was just a guy that didn't have luck in society. And he found that he loved art and he was talented at recreating art pieces that were official and that were made in the past, and that these art museums, they decided to basically tell him that, hey, we want your art and then we think that you're real, so this is what we're going to do. It wasn't his fault, but it was his fault. But at the same time, it was the fault of the museums because they didn't do their due diligence. What Graham is saying is that because of radiation, and this is how strong radiation is. Radiation is so strong that we can carbon date it, just like they drill ice from Antarctica or they drill into a tree and they take a tube of that and they can carbon date all that shit and then tell you what the history of the world. People can use a measure of radiation from a painting or piece of art and then tell you whether it's good or not.
Right, because there were only so many radioactive isotopes in existence.
I didn't
at
know
the
that, but
time.
that shit, I believe in that shit because
It's all fallout.
that makes sense. Yeah,
And it's fallout from human
Yeah.
atomic
When
testing in the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
From damn, what is it?
Like
from
literally, if you take
Groom
if you
Lake
take-
until now.
if you take any soft material, and you're like, did this soft material get taken out of the container in 1930 or
Yeah.
1950?
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Because between 1930 and 1950, and between 1930 and 1960, and 1930 and 1970,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the two big superpowers in the world were just blowing up giant nuclear
they were.
weapons
Yeah.
in our atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny to me that people are like, we got this hole in the atmosphere, and
Well, shit.
I'm
You
a
know?
I'm a goddamn person who believes scientists. Of
Right.
fucking course,
Right.
climate change is real.
Yeah.
But also the hole in the atmosphere that they started talking about in the 80s when we were little tiny kids
Right.
makes a lot more sense.
It does.
After
It does.
the mid 90s
No, and
when they
I
declassified
always-
how many times they
Right.
fucking blew
And
up
I
50
always-
megaton bombs in the atmosphere.
Even when I was a kid, when we were kids, I always knew that they tested nuclear weapons. I knew about that shit because I've been following this since we were kids, and I knew that that was the cause of the
atmospheric
ozone
testing
hole.
is the atmospheric testing is specific too, though, because at one point it was no longer legal,
Right.
But like between the agreement to test nuclear weapons on the surface of the earth.
Yeah.
So America and Russia, I believe, both launched like 900 bombs into
Yeah.
the atmosphere of our planet.
Yeah. Yeah. And some underground too.
Yeah. No. They blew up a bunch underground.
Yeah.
They blew a bunch overground.
Yeah.
They blew a bunch on airdrops.
Bikini
They blew a
Atoll.
bunch-
That was a-
they blew
that
a
was a
bunch,
big,
right. But I'm saying that
Yeah.
probably close to 900 bombs were just exploded in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Atmospheric testing became the next thing.
Yeah.
Like after they were like, we agree to not fucking blow shit up underground.
Yeah. And that was it.
They fucking started blowing shit up in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And they did it hundreds of times.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why we have the hole in the ozone layer. Reportedly,
Has to be, right?
it's healing itself now, and I gotta think.
That was headed
I
somewhere.
gotta think that
Sorry, I didn't realize it was
Because-
synthesizing.
because that synthesizer is banging, but because
After we close this out, let me see if I can make a beat live.
Oh yeah, because they blew it up in the atmosphere. That's where the hole in the ozone layer came from. Now we don't do it, and
Allegedly.
and then no, we don't do it now. We don't.
Well,
if
we
you,
don't
if you,
do
if,
atmospheric
yeah. If we
nuclear
don't do
testing. Yeah,
atmosphere,
yeah.
Because if you blowing up in the atmosphere, everybody's gonna know, and it's EMP and all that shit.
You know,
but
that's the weird fucking thing. is
that's the
that you
future
can-
humanoids telling us.
Here's some
They
weird,
influence that shit to
here's
where it's
some
like, yo,
wicked
cut that shit out,
though.
so
you
we can
look it up. You can look it up to where Bob Lazar was talking about why there was this air quote unscheduled underground nuclear
I remember you
test
telling me that
in
shit,
the
yeah.
late 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s, and that was because they, according to him, they were trying to cut into
Yeah.
the power cell of
Yeah.
an alien vehicle.
But see, he also said that,
Although that
that
also
they put that
sounds
shit on the shelf
convenient,
for a
too,
while.
Because
Like,
imagine what would happen if you fucking took a blowtorch to the outside of the warp core of the USS Voyager.
yeah, you'd
Like,
be
let's say
fucked.
a
Yeah.
cri- yeah.
Yeah.
What, don't look in there like that.
No, yeah.
Don't look into that.
No,
vessel
don't do that shit.
way.
No. No.
You know that's no
But see,
good.
but the thing about Bob Lazar is that he'll say shit like that, and then he'll be like, "Look,
Love the
they
concept
tested
of
that,
the warp core breach. I feel like as a storyteller,
dude. A warp core breach is you don't want that. No, you
it's
don't
the
want
thing.
that.
It's
That's
like-
the thing
like,
that no,
bro,
you don't
it's
want that.
So crazy. It's like if you've watched
No.
Star Trek from the beginning
Yeah.
to the end.
A
the
warp
thing
core
is
breach
like
is the thing that
hull
everybody's like, no,
breach.
chill.
Yeah, it goes like hull breach is
Yeah.
real bad.
Yeah.
Except for that warp core breach
Yeah.
is bad. Like, oh fuck,
That's
we
even
could-
worse,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's like you have a warp core breach, you can fuck
Yeah.
around and destroy a solar system.
Exactly, and
You
that's
know
what it
I mean?
is.
Yeah. With a
But
big-ass
see,
shockwave.
and that goes into everything that I've said. Even when we talked about like the fly in the your episode, and then that shit like that is like, look, we have this technology. It's been passed on from future generations of humanoids. They came back here. Shit happened. They crashed. We found it. Maybe it was planned. Maybe it wasn't planned. But at the same time, it is what it is. And then we have all this technology that we don't understand right now. Bob Lazar said it, that we take it off the shelf and then we fuck with it here every 10 years or so, and then we get to a point to where we don't understand it anymore, so we shelve it again. And I believe all of that shit, but it's not aliens, man. Aliens and UFOs is such a broad term. UFOs are unidentified flying objects, and that doesn't mean they're from a different galaxy. It could be a test flight, it could be a test aircraft, it could be even a weather balloons, anything. It could be anything.
Remote controlled aircraft.
Yeah, it could be a drone now. Anything. People
Here's
think
my
that
deal is
aliens
that no
and
one-
UFOs are just some outer galaxy creature, and it's not
Nobody
always
with
like
any
that.
credibility has presented any evidence
None.
of any of these things ever.
None.
Like
None.
quite literally, like there's that fucking To the Stars Academy video that everyone started sharing last year. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Tom DeLonge for Bleak 182. He went on Rogan. He's clearly insane. Like everything
Yeah.
he does is about faking fucking alien shit.
Right.
And that shit was like on MSNBC, and they were like, these are unidentified.
Yeah, because people
And I-
eat that shit up.
Yeah.
They eat that shit up because people are so thirsty for knowledge of life outside of our
Promise you,
planet
there's
and our
nobody
galaxy.
who brings up life outside this planet who isn't a fucking dickbag.
Oh, jeez.
I'm telling you,
You're at 31 minutes.
that's fine. That's fine. We got like
We
what,
could do
14 more
better.
minutes. Yeah,
Yeah, we could do better.
Yeah,
That's
but
fine.
I'm telling you,
Stop being a bitch and come on.
with me, life and time is here. We're here at the end of this pen. If anybody has a pen, pick up a pen and look at it. If you pick up a pen and the point is on your right and the other part, the actuator is on the left, look at the actuator of where we're at right now, and then our future self, our evolved self, is on the right. It doesn't make any sense for us to not care about our past. If you don't care about the past, you will repeat it. So our future, where the ballpoint part is, will come back and check in on us, and then certain things will happen. I'm telling you, there have been other Earths, there have been other civilizations that are similar to humans, and they have all failed. The reason why we have succeeded this long is because we are bred to do this. We are groomed to do this. The future selves, the future humanoids have come back and they have injected time as a form of slavery. Who gets up and says, "Oh shit, I'm late for work. I gotta text my supervisor, or I have to be here at this certain time, or this shit is planned at this certain time."
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Who gives a fuck? Time is an idea of man, our future self.
Stupid fucking game.
Religion is a form of control, and then we've proven that. Just read the Bible. And then nuclear power is, or nuclear in itself, is a form of hostage, taking the humans hostage. We don't want to launch nuclear weapons at Russia. Russia doesn't want to launch nuclear weapons at us. India doesn't want to launch nuclear weapons at Pakistan, and then vice versa.
You know, you boys owe me a lot of money for that beer you drank
Yeah,
tonight.
we
God
have
damn it.
so many countries that have nuclear weapons, but nobody does it because we're all being held at hostage because we don't want to die. We want to keep living. We want to keep striving and going forward.
If someone's going to be in charge of it, you need to motivate them by putting some kind of lubrication.
I tell him that.
Exactly.
Put some on his finger.
Yeah.
Because he's got to push the button.
That's religion. That's
He's
religion.
gotta
And then
push
do
the
what?
button. The worst thing he could do
Stick it
is
in his ass.
Yeah, that's time.
don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
But
time.
Look, when you're down there, if need be, in order to stay focused,
Yeah.
Kind of like fuck yourself.
Yeah,
you should do that.
That's what it is,
You know what I mean?
dude. That's what it is, and that's it.
don't
So
think it's gonna hurt
I don't
I give him
believe
the grease.
I don't believe in the concept of reincarnation as going back to the Pollock twins.
Yeah.
I believe that these people had twins that tragically died in a car crash, and then they had twins again, which is graceful and then
It's
amazing,
super
and
great.
that's a
It's
miracle.
amazing.
It's
It's a
amazing.
miracle in
Yeah, you
itself.
had, yeah,
Why don't you just
and that's
enjoy
it.
that
But
miracle?
you and I both talked about how people who have twins are more predisposed to have twins again. there is no idea or no proof of reincarnation,
Well,
and I
they're
think that
certainly
they had two.
predisposed to believe some bullshit. Like
Yeah,
that.
they had two parents that believed that they were reincarnated, and then they believed they had the memories of their old kids, and then they just said it even passively. Even kids will pick up on the smallest things. So if you have two parents that think that this is reincarnation, they keep saying it and they keep talking about it, you hear it, so that's what you go off of. And then after they got to 5, they stopped doing that shit and they lived normal lives,
I
bro.
wondered if they just had a bunch of children and some of them were women and they told them they were boys. And then at some point the boys came to the parents and they were like,
I can't find pussy anywhere.
sorry, I was just playing with the guy.
That might be, yeah.
goddamn
But
thing.
yeah, what time are we at now? Let's wrap this up. What are
You
we
can
at?
act like a man. What's the matter with you?
35 minutes.
35 minutes. Yeah,
We've
let's wrap
done
this up.
more than
Listen,
enough.
listen. We had a nice talk about the universe, aliens, everything. We talked about the
I have a
the
question.
Pollock twins.
I
Go
have
ahead.
a question about
Go
shirt
ahead.
caviar.
Go ahead.
You got any biscuits for sale in there?
I don't have any biscuits, but I have a white flour shirt that's for sale. And white flour is a great
man.
building block of baking.
It's such a
Go ahead. Go ahead and
primitive-
play it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Where's it at? Where's it at?
It's
Where's it
right
at?
here. I always
White
know where-
power.
There
How are you guys doing?
How are you guys doing? We didn't even get into the Ku Klux Caviar thing.
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah.
we can't. We gotta
No,
wait
no, we
a
can't do
week.
it now. No,
Gonna
it's at
have
the
to
end.
leave it
No,
hanging.
no, no,
Just
no.
in case
If you
you were
see, if you
curious,
see a shirt called
eat
Ku Klux
that
Caviar
dick.
on
Eat
Shirt
that
Caviar,
dick. You
go
like
ahead
it,
and buy
eat the
it.
dick.
It's
Eat that
amazing.
dick.
Go ahead and buy it. And then we'll explain that later. Just
We'll
buy
tell
it
you
and then
why
we'll
you're
explain it later.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
But we talked about reincarnation. We talked about the universe. We talked about time being linear.
What?
We talked about everything. We talked about aliens and how aliens are our future self and they come back and then they check on us. Some planes crash. Maybe that was planned. Maybe it wasn't. Anyway, we're going to talk about this all season because Pod Caviar is awesome. Check out Pod Caviar. Subscribe. Buy shirts from Shirt Caviar.
Quit playing.
Go to Game Caviar and then subscribe to that and then patronize that. Go to the One Grab Army and subscribe to that. That is Graham. I am Tony. This is Pod Caviar. We are awesome. Subscribe or we're coming to you. But now we are out.
And stabby.